intentional, purposeful, and just to the point, so we can go ahead and, get to bed and get to our nighttime routine. And I really, really want that to be important, because I think sometimes with whatever your nighttime routine is, I want you to have that time so you don't feel like you're rushed, or you won't do that at all. So I'm just going to get started with like the nuts and bolts. First of all, you guys, Peppermint Mocha launched today. So if you are interested in that, promote it, shout it out. You might say, well, I'm not interested. You can not be interested, and that's totally fine. If you're not vibing on it, that's totally okay. You can still share it and just say, for all my Peppermint Mocha lovers out there, you don't even have to say, I'm not really a fan. Just say, for all my lovers out there, we have a seasonal, nutrition packet coming out. It's really delicious. We have amazing recipes, whatever you want to say, just so like if they know and that creates curiosity, they can come to you. And then on top of that, if there is a product right now that you are like really vibing on, and that you're really loving, I just spilled my water. Here, let me get the towel. Hold on, guys. That you can, I just spilled my water. Hold on one second. I spilled my water on the floor. You can promo that and talk about it. For example, like right now, if we could talk about what's your favorite product, can we say them out loud while I'm picking up the ice cubes? Does anybody have a favorite product?
I really like
Energize.
the collagen.
Energize, yeah. I think
Yes.
Sharona just said
And
the same
collagen,
thing,
yes.
right? Yeah. So what you can do is you might, and this is where like that mindset comes in. Maybe you're like, I don't even give a shit about Peppermint Mocha Shakeology. That's fine. But maybe you really like, you're like, but wait a minute. I could take some of that energy and I could put it into what I really like. Maybe I really like putting the collagen in my coffee. Maybe I should be ramping that up right now, right? Or shoot, I really should talk about Energize. You know why? We're about to get our asses kicked in November and December. It's the tiredest months of the year, right? I might just live off of Energize while I'm wrapping presents and shopping and, cursing my family out, making Thanksgiving dinner, whatever, like use your humor and talk about it, right? Like talk about a product this month that you are super passionate about. If Shakeology, if you're not that super passionate about it, that's okay. What are you? Bevy, the beach bars, whatever it is, talk about something and promote that. Promote what you're passionate about and give thanks to that product, right? So I just want to kind of put that out there, because I know sometimes we can feel that pressure, but if you're not feeling the connection to the heartbeat of a product, then that's okay. Then think outside the box, like, well, if they're doing this, I'm going to do that. Okay. So I want you to create that entrepreneurship mentality, because if we don't, we can kind of like start putting ourselves away, going like, well, I'm just not going to do anything this month, I guess. Don't do that. And don't disservice yourself, right? The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is it's the beginning of the month. And this is the time where you can look at last month and look at the data. Like literally take the time to, number one, reconnect with your why, re-look at your vision, and take time to deepen it, right? A lot of times we write these things, we look at these things, and then that's all we do with them. But I want you to grow your soul into these this month. That's what I really want you to do. I want you to grow into your soul with this, right? Take your why. And maybe you're like, you know what, maybe on Mondays and Fridays, I read it to myself in the mirror. And let me just see what comes from that. I know for me, mine's folded and it's placed in my hair salon appointment book. So when I open up for the day, I actually have it in there. So it's the first thing I see. And I actually set a time about 10 minutes before my clients arrive. And I do read it out loud, or I look at it. I just have to remember, because the backbone of my business was built from Beachbody. It wasn't funded. It was built by the belief. And that's what I'm really proud of. By inviting people to this community, gave me the courage to be a leader of my own hair studio. So really think about what this coaching gig means for you, because it's not about selling, you guys. It's not about being fearful of selling challenge packs. What does it mean for you, right? So if we could go in the chat, what does this mean for you? Like what does it mean for you? Like, what has Beachbody, what has it done for you? What are you so connected with? That's where you share from and inspire from and invite from. And you don't worry about the outcome of what people say or don't say. Let the rest go while you are deepening into your why this month. Does that make sense? And I just want you to have an attitude of gratitude. We've heard this in like DVDs, right? We've heard these in workouts, but it is the time. This is the season to really deepen the core of that. I have a notebook here that I do all of my like national wake up call notes, but I also have my mentorship notes from Brandy. And I thought tonight would be a really cool thing to share with you, just my mentorship call today, because these are private calls. These are sacred calls. These are calls that I pour into my vulnerability into the business. I share my limiting beliefs. I share everything because I know how badly I need that place to kind of maneuver them and sync with them and really feel them, to understand them, to get to where I need to go. Does that make sense? And so the thing that I talked with her about on this call is, how do I bring people into the business, right? And I think that's a question for all of us, right? Like, how do I bring on a coach, right? Like, it seems so hard. And I will say that she told me globally, coaches right now are having a hard time growing their teams. So it's not a you thing, it's a network thing. But here's what came out of that call this afternoon. I think rather than thinking that it's a defeat right now, just like when businesses revamp and they're silently revamping, something big's about to happen. I think that big is going to happen, but right now every coach is in the muck of that, right? So there are top coaches very much winning right now, but they've built that over the time. We have to remember that, you guys. Like, and I'll compare it in my hairdressing business. I didn't win the hair salon until year 13. And I'm not saying it's going to take 13 years to grow a business. I'm not saying that, but it's true. It takes time, and you have to be invested into stepping behind the chair. You have to be invested into what comes behind, what comes from stepping behind the chair, the good, the gifts, because we don't say negatives in here, right? The good and the gifts. You have to be willing to be dedicated and invested into stepping behind the chair. And the biggest growth comes from the things that are what people call negatives. And we just don't do that here with our team. That's just not what we do. It's gifts all day, every day. And so she's asked me, how do I bring out the best in my coaches? And I told her, I was like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I was like, I wrote something. I have no idea. And I was like, and I'm going to share with you, I'm literally sharing with you all my vulnerability. I said, I don't know. I told her this. I said, I'm tired of stringing coaches along. This is what I'm tired of. Now, I don't want anybody who is on this call to think that it's a them thing, because I'm going to say what my therapist taught me. You're not that special. Okay. It is a mind thing for me. Okay. This is what I'm tired of. I'm tired of dragging coaches along. I'm tired of staying in basics with coaching, right? Like, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of, did you do this? Did you do that? Why aren't you posting? Like, I don't want to be in that phase, because when I'm beyond that phase with coaches, that's when it's really fun, right? We get out of pulling and into the fun. And I said, I think in order to bring people into the best of them, I have to know their why. I have to know one thing they're really good at, like a leadership quality. And you might go, well, wait a minute, I don't really have leadership. Yes, if you're good at folding laundry, that's leadership. If you're good at making all the dinner come together at 6 p.m., you have leadership. It's something that you're really, really, really good at. Like, it takes no effort. Like, I'm really good at highlighting. Like, I am so good at highlighting. And then she stopped me and she said, well, where does that confidence come from? And I said, over time. like I had to really fake it until I made it. And I had to be really nervous around people. Don't we get nervous with invites? Don't we get nervous with rejection? But like that comes with the territory, right? It comes with the territory. But are you willing to be invested and to keep stepping behind that? Which in here, it's our tracker, which in here, it's our coach community, which in here, it's the bod group, which in here, it's your Shakeology, right? It's all the PD, the nature's fast. Like, are you willing to be invested in that and growing from that? And I said, yes, absolutely. And I want to capitalize on that. And the one thing that she said too is, the other thing is, I said, it's hard to get coaches to move their businesses forward when they're constantly in a negative headspace. It's very hard for me. So I'm sharing all this with you because you guys are all CEOs. So I want to share this with you for your business, because I don't look at you like, look at me. I say, this is what I have for you too. Right? Because all four of us are CEOs, right? You have your Beachbody business, you have it, and you have it. So like, you can't help people when they're in negative headspaces. You'll never be able to help them. So the first thing is, when any of your coaches get into negative headspaces, you have to say to them right away, what is your personal development? And I want to say something about personal development, because this is where coaches are going wrong. There's a lot of coaches that are very faith-based, like God and religion. And that is a faith time. That's not a personal development time. And there's a difference in that. And I'm not taking away, please don't think like I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But when you're with God or the universe or whatever you believe in, your higher power, that is your spiritual time. That is your spiritual time. That is not your mind growth time. It's different. And so when you're struggling in a certain area, that's when you really need that. There's that spiritual PD, and then there's PD. Does that make sense? Right? Like, I know Susie in the morning spends time with her religion in the morning. That is her faith time. She starts from there. That's where she starts the pour, right? But then you see her doing other things. She does her workouts. She reads books. She shares meditations from YouTube into our group. That's her PD. Her morning is her spiritual time, right? So be mindful of that. If you're not sure, like if you say to me, well, I spend a lot of time reading the Bible, I'm going to say to you, that's your spiritual time. What's your PD? What's exercising your mindset? What is challenging you? What is making you shift in thinking, right? So just be mindful of that. So have both if you are in that realm. And that's what she asked me. She said they need personal development. That's spiritual time. So when somebody's in a negative headspace, a challenger or a coach of yours under you, and they're in a negative space, you have to tell them, I can't help you right now until you get out of that negative headspace. So I want you to go back to your basics. I want you to do 7 days of PD. Tell me what that PD is. And I want you to, be posting in our community every single day. You have to give that to your coaches. And this goes for us too, right? So what we say to them, we have to do unto ourselves. I want people that have the strongest work ethic, right? Like I was telling Susie the other day, I'm like, I'm wired to just work hard. And I think everybody on this call is too. In fact, I know that. So that's already one level up with you guys, right? We're already one level up. But here's the other thing too that she asked me. She said, you can have a strong work ethic, but do you believe that you're deserving of it? And can you see that? A lot of times the answer is no, right? But what's funny about this? Here's what's funny about this. This is what I told her. I said, I grew up in a household that the way I knew I was deserving was from demanding. I'll tell you I'm smart. You can't tell me what to do. I'm the boss, right? Like that kind of thing. So I realized from the chat that I already have this in me. It was just in the wrong column, right? You are deserving, but you don't have to be demanding of it. That's where your PD comes from. The other thing is she asked me, she goes, what do you think your coaches need right now in order to be successful? What's missing for them? And I said, I want to be the bridge for their gap. What is that? She goes, well, it's not your responsibility for them to show up. It's not your responsibility for them to do the work. It's your responsibility to give them the tools and for them to lean in. Like, these are all things we already know, right, guys? We already know this stuff. But the clincher for me was, as a coach, and I'm gonna do this in the month of November, and it's actually very pivotal because it is my dad's birthday month too. So I feel like it's kind of coming at a good time, and I want to share it with you. I need to let go of reaching out all the time when others don't reach back. And I want you to think about that in your business. There are people who you are constantly reaching out to, challengers who you're constantly reaching out to, and nothing is happening from that, right? And you're pouring all this time into them, but they're not even putting skin in the game, right? It's going to happen if it hasn't already, right? And she said to me, these are people that you stop giving all the attention to. It's okay to check in with them once a month and say, hi, how are you? But that is it. And the other thing that came from that was she made me think about how I didn't believe that I was important. Okay. And I want to share with you why I think this is affecting my business and how it could be impacting yours. And I'm being very honest, like, listen, I want big things to happen. So in order to have big things happen, we have to be very real, right? And very intentional. And I told her, I said, when I left Sheer Reflections, I truly didn't believe anybody was going to come with me, because I was built and wired that everybody came to Sheer Reflections because they loved Sheer Reflections. And I talk about Sheer Reflections a lot. I know I do on the calls, but guys, this is what gives me the relatability piece to transfer into my Beachbody business. And I think everybody here has had a job or has a job that you can do the same thing too. And I said, I really thought they wanted to stay there. It wasn't until I left that I said, you know what? No, I matter. No, my haircuts are worth $75, not $45, right? That's scary to say, no, I'm worth that, right? It's scary to say that. And I think as coaches, we need to start stepping up into our worth, right? We need to be in phase one all of the time. If you cannot keep talking to the same people over and over and over again in hopes that they're going to catapult their business, in hopes that they're going to lose that 5 pounds in the challenge group, right? We just can't be those coaches. We have to be the ones that say, I'm here for you. I know I'm valuable. You don't say this to them, but that's where we have to know our value. When we know our value, we shine brighter. And that's not cocky, right? It's not a cocky thing. It's a knowing. And for most of us, it can be very scary because we've always been on the proving side of the wheel. We've always been on the demanding side of the wheel. But what I'm asking you is to let that go in the month of November. What I'm asking you is to take your personal development this month and take your program this month and take your nutrition this month and take posting in our bod group this month and take that and let it be released a little bit than it was yesterday. Deepen your purpose with the tools. Make it more meaningful for you. Do you see like how you can take what we're doing and really make it meaningful? And when you do that, you're going to up level. You're going to look at your Beachbody tracker and go, I'm going to Wegmans. I'm going to Wegmans from 7 to midnight. I'm sacrificing. I will not utter another excuse in my thread. I will never utter another reason why I can't ever again. Because what I'm realizing from Brandy is I've been dismissing my potential. And that's not happening anymore. And I love when these things happen. I love when what others think are negative happen because I look at them as gifts and our team looks at them as gifts and we see why they're here to serve us. And I want you to be mindful of that this month. And I want you to know that each and every one of you is a phenomenal coach, but you have to be the one to feel that worth. You have to be the one that shows up to that worth. You have to be the one that invests in that and step behind your chair every single day. You're going to have people who don't like you. You're going to have people that leave you. You're going to play the comparison game. But all of those things are to lead you to the positivity of why you're here. It's not to feed the negative. And so I just really wanted to keep this as short and impactful and as punch-harding as I possibly could, because I think I see where I need to go. And Brandy was like, I think this month I want to message you in a month. She goes, we don't need another call for another month. Let's do it after Thanksgiving. And she was like, you need to be in phase one. And for everybody that's already with you, you start setting the expectation bar that if you want me, you lean in. And that's what we need to do for our businesses. If like, you need to say this for your business, if you want me, you got to lean in. But that means I'm going to lean in even more. You know how Will Smith, I don't know if you ever heard of Will Smith little thing. He will say on like some motivational tapes, I will be the last one on a treadmill. I will die on the treadmill. You know, like that's how I feel with my why and my vision. And it's okay, like to have leadership calls and mentorship calls. And, you know, Susie and I think, Susie, we should start doing mastermind calls with all of you guys. And it would be great to start hearing more from you guys, because I think the other thing too that's coming from this is that sometimes Susie and I do all the talking, and we don't want to do all the talking. I want to hear the leadership of everybody. I want to hear what's driving your business. I want to hear what's working and what needs data to do something different. See, notice how I didn't say broken. It's the verbiage that we say. So from here on out, I will never utter the words, my business is hard. From here on out, I'm never going to say I'm incapable. I'm never going to say again, why isn't this working? I'm never honestly going to look at another Beachbody cancellation email ever again. If my unicorn coaches quit, I don't want to see it because I can't spend time on it. They hit that button. It is not my job. I will still keep in contact with them, but I've been looking at the wrong things. I can't look at all the cancellations. I have to look at all the people that I have brought in. So we have to be really mindful of what we're seeing, what we're feeling, what we're thinking, and what we're looking at. And that was a really powerful, vulnerable call for me this afternoon. And I really needed it. Like I really needed it, because she said, Stacey, you can move mountains in this business. You have to make your worth worthy. And that was, if that's the one thing I leave with you tonight, you have to make your worth worthy. So that means we have to show up to that, right? I know it's kind of a deep call, and I'm not going to apologize for it, because I really needed that deep mentorship call tonight with her. And I think if this is going to help me, then I have to serve this and share to you, because maybe it's going to be relatable with you guys in your businesses. So if there was something that really was striking to you tonight, if you could unmute and just share with me your one thing. I just want to take maybe the next 5 more minutes and open that up, and just what came from this tonight for you, for your business.
So I'll start. I think that listening to the fact that, we have to make our worth worthy was something that really just it really touched me, Stacey, because I have a different corporate mentor. Kyle's my corporate mentor, and my last few calls have been hard, hard, like me sobbing, and he, where he gets teary-eyed because it's contagious, because my business looks very different, and because of that, in my head, I think I'm not a worthy leader. Why did they leave me? Why did they leave the business when I try to make it fun and I try to make sure that everybody feels important, and I'm constantly pouring into the chats and I'm constantly giving resources for them to grow. So that is something that I really need to work on, because it's that mental game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That you're like
Yeah.
in your mind constantly thinking it's you
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
possibly not. And I always remember what Kyle tells me. If you get a rubber band and you pull it back, he tells me, Susie, sometimes you need to be pulled back in order to shoot forward. And I keep telling myself, maybe this is the year where God is pulling me back
Yeah.
to shoot forward next year, because my business looks very different. And I am so grateful to the few that have stuck with me. Like, I know we don't even see Jackie, who's in Boston, but her and I talk often. She's not working, but she still sticks with me. She still tells me how I inspire her and all that. And there's, a few other ones here and there that I'm always like, oh my God, I'm so thankful, because my business looks very different, but I know I'm still inspiring change in others. I always tell Melissa that I'm super thankful for her, and Brenda, who's our biggest cheerleader, she's around. So, but in my mind, I start thinking like, I'm not worthy, I'm not a good enough leader, because what happened to the entire huge team that I had last year?
It's interesting that you say that, though, because mine was different with Brandy. My message was like, you'll say why did they like leave me or whatever? I say, why did they leave themselves? And I think that was a shift for me, because they left themselves because I'm still here.
You're
for
right,
my goals
but
and
in
my
my
vision,
mind,
right?
yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I think that was a big shift for me,
Yeah.
Suze, because I was like, I don't want them to be here for me. I want them to be here for them. But then when they bow out, I said, why do they do this? Like, why does that happen? And she was like, because they don't believe. What was it? Hold on. She said, let me get my notes, because I want to make sure I say this right.
Because in my mind, I think
They have no belief, so they don't care. That's what she said. They have no belief, so they don't care. And when they don't care, they let it go. It's that easy. Oh, I don't need to help. I don't need to hit Success Club. I don't have a belief in this. I don't really care about it anyways. Right. So that's what it was. And that's what hit home for me. And then the last thing she said was, I need to start asking myself why I'm afraid to level up even more. I need to set higher boundaries as a coach and as a mentor and as a leader and as a challenger. I need to set higher boundaries. And that's what she left me. And she told me that I am not to, she goes, you are not to keep pouring into your current coaches. You are to go find 5 more people. Those coaches are already in. They do not need you. They need to be a part of the team calls. They need to be a part of it. They know you need to be in phase 1. So that's what I want to share with you guys. We all need to stay in phase 1, but we all need to be doing the basics together, right? Each and every one of us has to stay in phase 1. You can't keep talking to Kat, the challenger, that is not pumping because she doesn't want to. You can only give them what they want, right? And that is it, right? So think about that tonight, you guys, and work on with me, making your worth worthy of this business, stepping into that. Because a lot of times what happens is you're going to get challengers and coaches that all of a sudden are going to put blame on you. And that's the other thing that I don't like anymore, because I've allowed that. I've allowed that verbiage to seep in, right? And that's that boundary. And I don't know if you've had a challenger or a coach that might have done that to you, or maybe a spouse who's not even in Beachbody yet. Maybe they're giving you crap. I don't know, but there has to be a boundary, because if somebody's saying, well, you don't do fill in the blank, I'm going to say this right now. I can guarantee you they ain't doing half of what you're doing. So don't forget that, leaders, because they ain't doing half of what you're doing. Right? It's easy to point the finger. There's always 3 pointing back at yourself. But what I love about that is that, Brandy, I want the fingers pointed back at me for my growth. See, listen, I want big, right? So do I want big income goals? Yes. I'm not here to play small. I don't want Girl Scout money, I want a relief money in my household, but I think the big thing for me tonight that I learned in leveling up my business, and I think the reason why, number one, know that the whole network, you guys, is having a problem bringing in coaches. So why don't we stop worrying about bringing in coaches? Why don't we let it go? That doesn't mean stop talking about it, but let go of the expectation. Okay. And promise with me that you're going to stop saying, why can't I fill in the blank about this business? That has to go. We need to eliminate that from our meal plans. Okay. Like,
I wanted to
really
share
have
something.
to eliminate that from our meal plans.
I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. I keep going in and out of reception.
No, we
but
can hear you.
As you're talking, I had a very, very interesting call today with somebody, and it was about an hour long. And she had said something to me that she goes, I'm going to help you to learn the word no, because it sounds like you have no boundaries, especially for yourself. And she goes, a lot of people think when you set boundaries, you are keeping people out. She goes, but when you set boundaries on your life and on yourself, you are showing them the way in. She goes, it's like a white picket fence around your house. You don't want people to jump your fence. You want them to walk through the gate. And so somebody is trying to call me, decline. So by setting the boundaries, you're not allowing those people to jump your fence. You're showing them how to get in the proper way.
I like that. And that's really true, because some people, it's funny. There are people that they take really good pride in their lawns and they don't want people walking in their grass. We all have those neighbors. Don't touch their grass. Don't put your dog on that property, right? Or whatever. But they've taught you that. They've said, don't do that. This is what do this for me and I'll do this for you. So yeah, I like that a lot, Sharona. I think it's true. Like, you have to let people walk into the gate, and be that team player. And the other things too are, like she said, eliminate the things that you're tired of talking about in your business. So like I said, and I'm just sharing with you guys everything that I talked with her about, because I think it's important. There's no more, why isn't this working? There's no when it's supposed to happen. It's going to happen. Right. And it's going to take, we have to be very mindful of this. It's very mindful. But here's the deal, guys. If you don't believe, you will not care for your business. If you don't believe, you will not care. And so when you have a goal for the month of November, let's say your goal is Success Club. I'm just going to use that because that's the easy thing to think of, right? You want to hit it. It's good to hit because it drives your business forward. But if you don't believe that you can, you won't care to try. And if we keep doing that, then that's going to grow weeds in your garden. And we don't want that. We don't want that. So I think from here on out too, our number one priority as coaches, you guys, is your personal development. It goes down to your PD. And being that, and don't show up in your business when it's good. Show up when people say bad, we say gift, right? Show up when you're really being gifted. Show up when you're really being gifted. Okay. Hold on. Thank you.
I wanted to let you know it's been over 30 minutes.
Okay. We're going to hang up here, you guys. So just so you know, you have to believe to care. And the things that you need to let go of tonight, write 3 of them down. Write 3 of them down before you go to bed tonight. What are the 3 things that damn well you have to let go of to be a level up coach that you want to be? Whatever that one, it's a notch up, guys, right? There's so many levels, right? There's so many levels. But remember this, you guys. I think sometimes in this business, we forget that the small things matter most. Susie, do you have a calculator? If somebody were to do 2 invites a day for a whole solid year, 2 invites a day, how many invites is that in a year?
730.
Why is 2 invites bad a day? You invited 730 people in a year if you committed to 2 invites a day. Why is that? Like, that's not bad. That's great, right? If you did 5 minutes of personal development 5 times a year, Susie, a PD, how many minutes is that of PD? If you did 5 minutes a day for a whole entire year, just 5 minutes.
1,825.
That's how many hours you put in for PD. Don't think, here's the secret. The shake a day, that's 365 days of nutrition. That's 365 days of chia seeds, of flaxseed, of all the ingredients, right? 365 days, right? How many hours of PD with 5 minutes a day? 2 invites a day is over 700 invites in a year. Guys, it's all in the compound effect. But most coaches, not us, will not stick around for the small because you don't think it's significant. Oh, well, they did 10 invites. How about 2?
Who
2
gives
out
a
of
shit?
whole-
Let me just say that. Who gives
Who
a
gives a
shit?
fuck?
Stay
No.
in your lane. Stop quitting on yourselves and let's move forward. We're going to hit some goals. We're not going to hit some goals, but stay in it and lean in and do your
Yeah.
best. I don't know. Like I'm
Yep,
just.
no, that's it. And that's perfect. And I think it's a great way to end the call tonight, guys. Just don't forget that. Like, these little things matter, right? If you did 1 workout a day, you did 365 workouts in a year. If you lose a pound a week, I think that's 50 something pounds in a year, right? It's something
Yes.
like that. Guys, it's in the little.
Well,
Those
1 pound a week is and for the whole year is 52 pounds.
Okay, yeah.
You're right, Stacy. This is all about perspective.
Yeah.
It's all perspective. I never even thought about the minutes of PED or the invites. I always tend to think like, I gotta get this number in. And you know what? There's times where I admit the invites don't come out and I still get customers because the compound effect of all the work that I've done, maybe not every day, but showing up.
A post every day. That's
A post or in my
365
stories
posts.
is what I mean. Like in my stories, I'm always showing up in my stories. I'm always showing up in my posts. I'm always showing up with my workout. So maybe I didn't get to do like a DM invite, but you're right.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You guys see that? It's about showing up. If you show up, you showed up for 365 days. Don't count the days that you didn't do. Right. Wrong mentality creates the exit strategy. Like, it's in the little. 1 team call a week. Guys, add the number up.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like 1 invite a day is 365 invites. Yep. You guys, like, no.
Yeah.
You just have to stick around. It's 1 client, every chair, every haircut. It's only 1, you guys, every day. And sometimes I don't have a client every single day. But you know what I do every day? I step behind the chair every day. So okay, let's blow my mind for a minute. What is 14 times 365? How many days have I stepped behind the chair in 14 years?
5,110.
Thank you. And if you minus 365, how many is that?
4,745.
That's when I made my mark. I never thought about quitting. I was in the wrong environment that was stunting my growth. I don't know if I should be a hairdresser. I don't know if I'm good enough. It wasn't true. It was my environment. So if you're in a shitty environment that's not feeding it, get out. Get out.
Because you always say that the magic happened for you after year 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
In your hair salon business. We got to look at that, and we forget that we're in this for longevity, because it's about who we become. Everything else is just a byproduct. And I think
you just have to stay consistent and behind. See how simple it is? Like, See how simple the actions are, you guys? All I have to do is step behind a chair. All I have to do is a post a day. All I have to do is one invite a day. Like commit to, all I have to do is press play. All I have to do is like, wow, if we just keep saying all I have to do, all of a sudden I start like chuckling. I'm like, get out of here. Like, no freaking way, right? So I hope this helps you guys tonight. I hope it inspires you. I hope it gives you a settling piece of wanting to build your business, wanting to relax and have fun and
feel
grow your
worthy.
leadership.
And feel worthy.
Feel
you guys are
worthy
good
in
enough.
your worth.
Yeah.
That's big. And how
Yeah.
you do that is you eliminate the verbiage that causes that pain.
Yeah.
And so listen, we're all in it. I just shared with you my call with Brandy. I'm telling you, I'm in it. Nobody is different. It's just, I don't give a fuck who hears my shit anymore. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Like, oh, I don't care. It's so like draining. I know. I don't fucking care, Susie. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, you either want to ride on this train or you don't. And that is okay. Like, just remind yourselves of that. But like, okay, if you want to use the hair thing, step behind your chair. Just do it. Just do it. It's in the little things. I promise you, let's just stay committed to the little things.
Yeah.
Let's just stay committed to the little things and grow and share and do leadership. And I'm sorry that I went 10 minutes over, but I just really think this was really powerful and everything. I'm not scripted. I don't do presentations. I'm not that kind of a coach. Usually I'm not. Sometimes I might be, but I just share with you what's happening with me. And so this is what happened, 5-6 hours ago. And so actually it feels good because it's going to reinforce what I need to do because Brandy's helping me level up. And I have to go show up to her and tell her what I've been doing because I asked for it. I asked for it, but I have to do the work. She's just a check-in. I have to come to her. She's not going to say, hey, Stace, when are we going to meet up? She doesn't do that. I do that. All right. So with that said.
Yeah. Thank you, Stacey. Let's end the call. I will end the call with a challenge. I hope you girls don't mind. I would love for Sharona to step up and do a call for us. And I would love for Mel to step up and do a call for us. Whatever's on your heart, whatever you think you're good at, whatever you can share. Maybe it's stuff that you've learned, that you've unlearned. Maybe it's a struggle. Maybe it's victories. Maybe it's something about parenting. I don't care what it is. But I would love to challenge you both so that it's not always Stacey and I talking. So that it's you girls saying, all right, this is what's on my heart and this is what I want to share. And I know that there's value here. And let's mastermind rather than look at us like if we are the ones that are training. We're here to all learn from one another. So I'll end the call with that. I hope you girls are okay. Reach out and just let us know what date and time is good for you. And we will be here to support you.
All right. Great. Cool. Love you guys.
All right, girls. All right. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.